There are times when you deserve more than a coffee break, so make a cup of Mellow Birds. You'll find its smooth, mellow flavor turns an ordinary coffee break into a mellow moment. Mellow Birds for mellow moments.
Every day should have some.
Well, hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Mellow Moments. Now, I've got grave news, friends, grave news. I happened to spend most of today writing an article in a particularly bougie cafe, in a mall, in a horrible post-industrial town, and as such, I missed the opening time of Sainsbury's because it is Sunday today. That means that I have been unable to purchase my favourite coffee, Mellow Birds. F's in the chat, everybody, for my failure to attain Mellow Birds. That meant, however, because I did not want to repeat the debacle of yesterday's Costa Rican coffee, I have had to buy basically a backup substitute coffee for these moments where I run out of Mellow Birds. And I've had to go back to Nescafe Gold. Now, it's not the standard Nescafe Gold. It is Nescafe Gold Alta Rica. This was the only brand of coffee available in the little Waitrose store that was in the petrol station I popped into on the way home. So let's have a sip and I will give an immediate assessment. Okay, not bad. Not bad. I mean, it's not Mellow Birds, but it is far, far more pleasant than that awful Costa Rican coffee that I had yesterday. Have another sip. Yeah, it's quite all right. All right. Why don't we have a look to see what's on the box today?
They've got Blind Date.
They've got Dance, Dance, Dance.
And their game shows have to be seen to be believed.
Japanese TV is coming to Britain. A whole night of the best. I said a whole night of the best. Drama.
Documentary.
Entertainment.
Spend a night in Japan. Saturday, 8 p.m.
Channel 4.
I have to see if I can get hold of that. That looks brilliant. I want to watch A Night in Japan.
Hello, my name's Paul Merton. I can't tell you anything about tonight's show because if I did, somebody might die. But I can show you this. See that cat's woken up?
I'm asleep all morning.
Ah, I knew we shouldn't have shown that bit.
Keep an eye on 4.
From one Paul to another, Hogan Hove's interview tonight at 11:20. Now, though, something before.
Now, Mellow Moments fans, is this the first actual time we've been to Channel 4? This is the 28th edition. Is this the first time we've been to Channel 4? It'd be interesting to know. I think mostly we've stuck to BBC. I mean, sometimes we've had BBC One, sometimes it's been BBC Two. Yesterday's edition, the You Bet one, was ITV. Got a feeling this is the first time we've gone to Channel 4, but I'm sure some statter will be able to tell us.
The weekend, packet of 3.
So you're my cousin Wally, Uncle Obadiah's long-lost love child. I can't believe the man that was kind enough to give me this theatre was cruel enough to walk out on you.
Yeah, well, I was only 12 months old at the time. He couldn't stand all the screaming and crying and the house smelling of sick. Mind you, when he left, my mum started drinking even more.
Doesn't sound like a Crumsall accent.
No, well, I ran away to sea when I was 15.
I didn't know as normals had a nautical tradition.
Oh, yes. There's a stream of runaway seamen in our family. Still, now I'm back in good old Crumpy.
That's great, cuz. Now we can make up for lost time. We can go out on double dates. Of course, you'll have to find a girlfriend with a mate.
Now, this show, friends, is called Packet of Three, and I've never even heard of it. Never heard of it. But when I was going through my secret source, couldn't help but notice the number of big names attached to this 1991 TV show, Packet of Three. You'll have already noticed Steve Coogan, of course.
Well, I don't know if there'll be time for all that, Henry. I'll have a lot of work to do once I've claimed my inheritance.
What inheritance?
The Crumsall Palladium.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Crumsall Palladium. My name's Henry Normal, and I was down the Crumsall station a little early on to welcome my cousin Wally. And I noticed they've got some trains named after famous poets. I thought that'd be nice, wouldn't it? In a few years' time, the Henry Normal. Probably be a Skoda. But I noticed that because they got the Sir John Betjeman, so I wrote this poem. I saw the Sir John Betjeman today on Crumsall Station, and I couldn't refuse the urge to muse whilst I stood in contemplation. As emblazoned for posterity across a 125, his name now pulls more people than when he was alive. Thank you. Oh.
Was that basically a joke about how few people read John Betjeman's poetry? Kind of esoteric for Channel 4, but let's carry on.
Bingo. That's crap, that is. You ought to get karaoke in here, man.
Isn't she that female contortionist from Doncaster?
Jenny? No wonder the stock's always disappearing.
Now, of course, you'll immediately recognise Frank Skinner here, and long-time AA fans will know that Frank Skinner is deeply connected to the lore of my main channel, Academic Agent. I'll give a special cookie for the first person who can tell me, how is Frank Skinner related to my lore? All right. While you're musing with that, let's carry on.
Homemade cakes. Some people are always looking to make a few bob on the side. Speaking of which, I've just discovered a bit of a money spinner myself. The local clinic's opened a sperm bank, and they're paying people, well, men mostly, to make contributions. I read an interview with Nick Faldo once, where he said he considered himself a very lucky bloke because he'd managed to turn a hobby into an occupation. Don't know what made me think of that. Anyway, the clinic's paying good money, especially for my rather exclusive Grade A anonymous knob juice. 15 quid a shot. Who needs a day job? I mean, I can live on 450 quid a week. Well, I'm not working weekends. Not that tight-fisted. Hey, up, Jen, where you been?
I've been as sick as a pig all day, Frank. I chucked up this morning on my way to work. Fortunately, it was raining and most people had their umbrellas up. Still, I should have stopped my moped and apologised, really. Does my breath smell? Ah.
Better than usual.
It's all right for you. Being sick's your hobby, but I'm never sick.
Perhaps it's one of these psychological problems.
Oh, don't get me onto all that. Do you know, Freud says that all our actions are motivated by our desire to eat or have.
Now, this is the comedienne Jenny Eclair. And I have to say, even though she's part of this general milieu, I've always found her quite annoying, to be honest. I've never really liked Jenny Eclair. Anyway, let's continue watching. I've never seen this. This is probably a little, again, 1991's a little bit early for me. Remember, I was only 9 years old in 1991, so lots of these sorts of things I probably would have missed because, you know, I probably wasn't old enough to be up watching comedy on Channel 4.
Sexual intercourse. So if somebody does something really nice, it means they just want to shag you or eat your food.
Oh, shall I unpack this crisp for you?
Oh, thanks, Frank. That's really nice. Have a cake.
Oh, so.
Oh, I feel sick.
I have to say the material has been weak so far. It has been weak and below the talents of the people involved.
You should go home.
I can't. I just overheard Henry arguing with someone. Well, he raised his voice once. There was lots of nervous twittering and unexplained silences, like an Amanda de Cadenet interview. Henry and this man were arguing about the theatre. The man said Henry had no right to be here.
Shows how bad he is if the hecklers have to book an appointment.
No, this man was claiming that he, not Henry, owned the Crumpsall Palladium.
Bloody hell. What else did he say?
Well, I couldn't hear very well, but he said he was Uncle Obadiah's long-lost love child who ran away to sea when he was 15 and was now returned to claim his rightful inheritance.
Well, this can't be right. Henry's made this place an institution. Well, judging by the state of the audience. I mean, he's slaved, he's sweated.
He's worked his fingers to the bone.
Oh, I know how he feels. And now, some Johnny come lately who's probably already made a massive fortune. And this bloke didn't say anything about raising staff wages, did he?
Oh, yes, I write a lot of poems on trains. Trouble is, they all sound the same. Diddly-dee, diddly-da, diddly-dee, diddly-da. Yes, I fell in love on the train the other day and I wrote this poem. She was sophistication personified, an angel with hazel eyes. Unmoved by my yearning, to my passion burning, her indifference would not yield. As the train stopped, my hopes dropped, and she got off at Macclesfield.
Maybe there's a reason why this series has been forgotten. Anyway, this Nescafe Gold Alta Rica, not at all bad at all. Not at all bad. I mean, it's quite a smooth cup. You know, could be worse. Then again, it's not Mellow Birds.
But now for our first guest, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone all the way to Chester, to the hometown of Keith Harris and Orville, but we did manage to find a comedian. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a big welcome for Jeff Green.
Hey-ho! Nice to be in Crumpsall, isn't it, everybody? I've just been on my holidays to Amsterdam. Has anybody been? How do you remember?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
I've been to Amsterdam.
I have to check my diary. Where was I that week? Oh, Amsterdam, yeah. Seriously beautiful drugs problem over there, isn't it? If you ever go book a week in Amsterdam and 2 weeks in the Betty Ford clinic afterwards, you play Spot the Tourist over there. Everybody running to work. All the tourists going, oh my God, I think I've died and come back as a tortoise.
That's his joke, is it? People go to Amsterdam and get stoned or take harder drugs. That's his joke. It's not much of an observation, is it? I mean, maybe I'm just, don't have a sense of humour or something, but I'm failing to see what's funny.
I'm going to kill those people that sold me that stuff. The only problem with going to Amsterdam is you've got to come back and explain how you spent £10,000 in 2 days, haven't you? That's the killer, isn't it? You see them all on the ferry going, what the hell am I going to tell them? It was the Anne Frank Museum. It was very, very expensive to get in. £10,000 to get in. But she was a remarkable woman, Died when she was 14. I thought £10,000 was a lot, but I'm prepared to pay it for that kind of heroic bravery. I saw all these people on bikes when I was there, and I thought, I really fancy getting fit, you know, so I sort of bought myself a bike when I came back. But I forgot that Amsterdam is like that, and England is like that, right? And my bottom is killing me nowadays. It's all battered and bruised and everything. I reckon if the Orkney Island social worker saw my bottom, I'd be taken into care. Do you know what I mean? My mum would be...
That's your joke, is it? That you were inspired to buy a bike in Amsterdam, but because England is hilly and Amsterdam is flat, it's giving you kind of an ache in your bum. This is just an awful. I mean, I'm thinking back to Davro. I'm thinking back to the guy with the bag on his head on Monkhouse. I'm thinking back to the material of Matthew Kelly. This guy right here is probably the worst of the lot, isn't he? I'm thinking back to that female comedian who was on the Bobby Davro summer special, and she was better than him, wasn't she? This guy is awful.
Say, no, he sat on a chopper. Did he? Did he? You'll be down the station yourself then, won't you? Seriously, it's all battered and bruised. You don't need a backlight on a bike. You just drop your trousers like that. People are going, oh, he's got his fog lights on. Jesus Christ. I cycled to Chester Zoo and two baboons tried to chat me up. Do you know what I mean? I was walking like that going, oh, my God. They're going, hey, hot lips. Get lost. Show us your plums.
I mean, even the whole premise of the joke isn't funny, is it? You know, England is not so hilly and he's not so unfit that, you know, riding on his bike is going to give him an arse like a baboon. It's just weak material. It really is.
I haven't got any plums, and if I had them, I wouldn't show them you. I used to hate cyclists, didn't you? When I was in a car, I used to like... The only ones I liked were the ones that had a big sort of red reflector thing that came out of the bike, about 10 foot, wasn't it? The width of a bus they made themselves then. They were really good, because they made of plastic. You could knock them off without damaging your paintwork. You know? I got myself a bell on the bike as well, because that scares people to death, doesn't it? A bell. Really useful. Bus cuts you up, you go, I'm going to do this bloke now. Dring, dring. Dring, dring. Let that be a lesson to you.
Don't forget now, right? He's had to be booked on this show. He's on national television. It's huge exposure. Presumably, this is his best stuff. And it is the absolute bargain basement worst material there is. I mean, think about the distribution of talents on this show. They had Frank Skinner here. They're giving him a fucking awful script. And they've got him sitting out the back, dressed as a bloody Elvis impersonator or something. And then they've got this guy, and they squander about 10 minutes of the TV time giving this guy, you know, some spotlight. It's just awful booking. Awful booking. Channel 4 controller from 1991 and the people who put this show together, I got a bone to pick with you. This is rubbish, isn't it? This is absolute rubbish. Anyway, for any stats fans, the time on the clock is 18:30. I finished my coffee, and I think I've had enough of this fellow. Oh, the purest Mellow Moment streak. It was going so well. Mellow Moments every day, Mellow Birds, and now the Mellow Birds is finished. And look at what's happened. All right, see you tomorrow. Stay mellow, everyone.
There are times when you deserve more than a coffee break, so make a cup of Mellow Birds. You'll find its smooth, mellow flavor turns an ordinary coffee break into a mellow moment. Mellow Birds for mellow moments.
Every day should have some.